Ever since I saw Batman v Superman in the theater, I've hated it. Now we're going to watch Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, 10 minutes at a time to see how it really is. With me, as always, is my best buddy in the world, Bob. How are you?
Doing great.
Are you ready for part 6?
Ready to go. Part 6, bring it.
After this, we have gone through an hour of the movie, 1/3 of the way. Let's get it going. Clark and Bruce are talking because they're at Lex's party, and Clark asks about Bruce's stance on the Bat Vigilante. That's right, he's still not known as the Batman. Bruce wonders aloud if he owns the Daily Planet or not. Kind of liked that. Thought that was kind of funny.
Daily Planet. Wait, do I own this one? Or is that the other guy?
Clark is talking about civil liberties. He's saying the Bat thinks he's above the law. And Bruce Wayne says the planet criticizing is a bit hypocritical due to the fact it fawns over Superman, talking about how Superman saves cats from trees. The Bruce Wayne's talking about how Superman could be dangerous, and Clark's like, nah. Bruce says it's the Gotham in him, perhaps, that makes him so skeptical. What do you think about that as a reason?
I think it's his Playboy reason. I don't think it's his real reason, but I liked the exchange. I liked the exchange between the two. It was decent.
Well, this is about to just fly off a cliff because Jesse Eisenberg shows up with his noises.
Oh, and then it all downhill from there.
Play that funky noise of the
Boys, Bruce Wayne meets Clark Kent.
remix. That's what it was. He notices Clark and Bruce have met, and he's ecstatic. You know, Clark's handshake gets Lex to say "ow," and then Lex smacks Clark, and you hear this thunk like he hit a tree trunk. And Lex says, "You should not pick a fight with this person." Huh? Is this something normal people say?
No, but Lex is not normal.
Okay, we'll go with that. So Lex is talking to Bruce about partnering up. I think this is pretty good, too. This could be interesting. We don't really go anywhere with this. Now we cut to Bruce's device. He's been trying to steal information from Lex's servers, and Alfred says the transfer's complete. Mercy tells Lex the governor's there, so Lex gets out of the way, and Bruce is heading to the server room, and Clark follows him. Throughout this time, while Clark is following Bruce to the server room, he uses absolutely none of his superpowers. I have no idea why. He's super fast. He's got X-ray vision. He's got, other than hearing, he's used his hearing. Don't know why he's not using his powers. All right. So as he's not using his sneaky powers, Clark sees a TV by the cooks, I think. They're watching a fire happen, and Bruce is heading to the server room still at this time. He's getting his spy gadget, but it's gone. And Gal Gadot is outside, and Bruce makes eye contact, and away Gal goes. At this point, she's had 0 lines thus far. Absolutely none.
We've heard her job is looking good so far.
Yes, we've had Jesse Eisenberg making all kinds of noises, but Gal Gadot does not get to speak as of right now. So Clark sees the fire on TV and grabs his tie. It's time to be a Superman. And Bruce sees Gal leave. So he's thinking, okay, she did something. So Clark is next seen as Superman at the fire saving people. Firefighters surround him. The music's heavy. People are dressed like sugar skulls, and they're all reaching out to Superman to touch him. The music's good. The whole scene here is really positive. Superman is not a jerk. He's
a god.
Yeah, and he's trying his best.
He's a messiah figure, yes.
So we get a video.
And then we go into that.
Yes, and because of that, because it couldn't be left alone with that subtle, with people trying to touch, the potential savior. There's a video, a guy named Vikram Gandhi. I don't know if he's a real person or whether he's just a character for this movie. Maybe he's real, because there was a lot of other real people in this part of the video. People are talking about a messianic figure. Cut to Superman. He's dragging a boat on ice. Okay.
Do we ever get a reason why he's dragging the boat on ice? I don't understand.
Okay. As of the finish of this hour, we have not gotten any explanation. Perhaps it's later on explained. Well, Clark's like, you know how I left my key in that boat? I got the boat back. Like, maybe that happens later, but I don't know.
Okay.
So he's dragging a boat on top of, like, freaking ice and everything. So he's saving them. That's great. And then we've got more VOs. Charlie Rose, before he got in trouble for harassing people.
What he did, yes.
He's talking to Senator June Finch. I think this is the first time we actually see her name in the movie. This is Holly Hunter's character. Right. And now we cut to a space shuttle exploding, and Clark's there to save the capsule where the people would be. So, like, this big fire, and Superman saving people. We're seeing the good acts of Superman. So we've had Bruce like, oh, he could be evil. And Clark's like, no.
I'm trying.
Yeah. So the experts are questioning the notion of Superman, and Superman is now saving people from a flood. Or actually, he just shows up. I don't know if he's saving them. There's people who...
Yeah, he just says hello. He just kind of hovers there.
Yeah, so maybe he's not saving them. Maybe it's just like, okay, I've reached my quota and I'm done. But we don't get to see that. So Charlie Rose talks to Senator how Superman's relationship with the government is and how it should be. And the question is then asked Must there be a Superman? I think this is a pretty deep question. I think it could have been left a little bit to linger, but the senator responds with an amazing response of, there is. Which I think is a great answer. It's not like, must there be a Superman? Like,
meaning we have no choice.
Exactly.
Yep. And she didn't take one side or the other on that.
That is, I think, a part of the, and this is not sarcastic. I know I give Snyder a lot of crap about how heavy-handed this stuff is. I thought this was a really great, realistic moment of, look, guys, we can talk about the philosophy of this. We can discuss the idea that we aren't as important in the universe because there's a God man walking around, but we're not going to discuss whether he should be here or not. We're going to deal with the fact that he's here, and we got to figure this. We're like ants. What are we going to do? Like, that's a real response to have, although it's been a while that Superman's been around, so I don't know how long these discussions would continue. Like, it's not like Superman got like a parking ticket and smashed a car. It was just like, oh,
right.
What about this guy? He's
right.
Chill.
Right.
So anyway, Clark is back home. He's watching the show, and now we cut to the Kent farm, and Clark calls Diane Lane, who plays his mom. Not just calling up Diane Lane. That'd be strange.
You never know. Good-looking woman, even at her age.
He just wants to say hi. He asks how come Dad never left Kansas, and Diane says, how he was. And now we're at a lab with Lois, and they're investigating that bullet again. That blonde girl she's talking to looks really familiar. I can't place her. Do you recognize this lab assistant or the lab lady?
I do know the actress. I can't remember her name, but she was a child actress and grew up. She was in the movie For Love of the Game. She played Kelly Preston's daughter. I think it's Jenna Coleman, maybe, might be her name.
That might be it. We're going to put the answer right now on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm going to have both reactions.
Like
you were right.
Who knows?
Hey. Other reaction. You were wrong, but close. Okay, good. Anyway. So I believe this scene is not in the theatrical cut at all. So now we go back to the Daily Planet, and together we learn that the bat branding is a death sentence for any inmate. So now we're at a jail, and a criminal is saying he's been marked and he's going to be killed. And I believe he's the same guy from the previous bat scene where Batman is scurrying on the ceiling. So then in the same scene, we have Keith. He's been alerted that he's made bail. He's the guy who was graffitiing the Superman statue.
False God, yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So Keith, he goes outside. He goes back to his apartment while Mercy's outside with a big white car. And then Keith goes to his apartment where he runs into Lex in a fancy wheelchair. Lex is in the wheelchair. And Keith wants to know what Lex wants. And Lex says, to help you stand for something while touching the wheelchair. Pretty good. No weird noises.
I thought this was good. This was no weird noises. This was subtle. And they let us come to a conclusion rather than beating us across the head with it.
Yeah, we see the chair, and then the next scene we have is Keith at the senator's office, all dressed up and in that chair.
Subtle.
He says these words. This is I tried to quote it. He made me half a man. My wife walked out on me. I can't even piss standing up. Let me face him. So he's talking to Senator Holly Hunter, and he wants to talk to Superman. This is really powerful. This is good. Keith, I don't know you very well, but like you've lost your family. You're blaming Superman for the lack of your physical abilities. Okay. If anything, like Keith kind of reminds me of Baron Zemo, how angry he is.
Yep.
But we won't get too much into Keith. So that's really powerful. I think we're doing this is actually a very enjoyable 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Shocking.
no, it's good. I liked this 10 minutes.
So
I did.
We cut to KG Beast. He's talking to an inmate at the prison. He's like, you'll take care of it. So we go to the prison yard, and the inmate we saw who was branded is really wary. And the guy talked to Beast, he shows up and he stabs the inmate several times, and prisoners convene on the stab guy, but nothing else happens. And then we go to a bathroom. It's Secretary Swanwick. He's in the bathroom, and I believe he's widely thought to be the Martian Manhunter. The voice is perfect. He's not John Jones, but he seems like he's the Manhunter. But that is not ever proven or discussed or any of that stuff. But he's very good. So Lois is there. She's in the men's bathroom, as she does. And the senator makes reference to, if Lois wants an appointment, she could talk to Major Ferris or Ferris outside. Now, I don't know if this is a Green Lantern reference or not. What do you think?
I don't know. It could be a subtle one. Maybe.
I mean,
I don't know.
I give this movie a lot of flack for not being subtle. I think this was one of those references that was actually subtle. And Lois wants to know if the U.S. government is giving weapons to rebels. And of course, she pulls out the bullet in the bag because she's always got to show it. Because, I mean, I get it. That's movie making. You got to show it. The senator said people died because Superman tried to save Lois. Don't invent a conspiracy theory. Like, okay, that's good too. It actually explains why Lois would have a motive to cover up something Superman did. Here's a bullet. So that would mean, in theory, in this movie, in this cut of the movie, the bullet theory, people that were killed by the bullets are not necessarily those who are thought to be killed by Superman.
Wow. Deep.
Now, in the cut that we saw, the theatrical cut in the theater,
right,
there is no differentiation between those who were shot and those who were killed or burned, because we never see them burned. We just see the whole place go up. The burning definitely suggests that Superman did it with his eyes, and the bullets would be hard to trace. But this movie's got a whole other thing going. So I think this is a vast improvement, and this scene really needed to be in there, but it wasn't. So we go back to the planet. Perry is.
Aren't we way past our 10 minutes here?
No.
No.
There's a little. This is the last minute.
Okay.
Perry is annoying Clark about not getting work. There's nothing. He holds up like a piece of. He actually shows like a mock-up of the paper, and there's nothing in the sports section, and there's nothing in the book event that Lex hosted. Just bat things that Clark wrote. And Clark says that the police don't help. The press has to do the right thing, and then the 10 minutes are up.
Yeah.
I might be maybe like a minute over or not because it was just kind of good. I'd say out of 5. This is 4.5 out of 5. What do you think?
This is the best 10 minutes we've had so far.
It is really watchable. It moves the plot forward. It's all sensical. I don't.
You don't even this. Other than the one scene with Lex and coming with Clark and Bruce and his awkwardness there, even he's not that annoying. And Clark doesn't do his holier than thou thing. You actually kind of feel bad for him at a point where it's like, you see his face, he's like, I'm just trying to do the best I can.
And he knows,
he's watching some of the things.
And he knows he can't do it all. And he's got that guilt and that weight. Right. And he why would I ever care about Superman? Because you have this person that can't do everything that they physically can. It's just impossible. And that causes a lot of issues. That's deep-seated issues. That's great. This is great.
No, this was a good 10 minutes with a lot of character development and some good acting too.
Yeah, and like I said, I believe the majority of these 10 minutes are not in the theatrical cut. I'll say at least 3 minutes of it.
I believe that, yeah.
Because there's something definitely missing in the theatrical cut. I'm not going to go back and watch that right now because I don't feel like going through that punishment. We are through with 1 hour. Now, people at home, don't forget, or wherever you're watching this, we'll be back with part 7 of this series. And don't forget, we're going to thank our sponsor, Mr. Mustachio. When you need a manly mustache, but you don't have the time to grow your own, remember Mr. Mustachio. That does it for us. And we'll see everybody next time on part 7?
7.
That means we're over halfway.
No, we're not.
No, at 7 we will be.
Well, isn't it 18 because it's 3 hours?
Why did I think it was 13?
3 hours is 180 minutes.
I done made a mistake in my math.